Let's continue the live here. Let me. Network messed up the other live, and I'm going to continue here. I pray people join. Those that join the other one will see this one and join it. I'm so unhappy. The network messed up that live. That live that had people that were very lively join me. I'm unhappy that that one went away. I hope people will see this one and join it. I hope those people that joined the previous live will join this one. I don't know why I'm having these issues today, but I'm determined to do this today. I'm determined to get over this today. So there is no giving up on this live stream. I intend to do it today. So whether network or Google Gemini, I'm going to do it still. I'm going to do it. So a quick introduction of who I am. I am Amara, aka the mom scientist. That's what I call myself. I call myself the mom scientist for a reason that I will reveal someday. Okay? I call myself the mom scientist for a reason I'm going to reveal to you guys one day. Alright? And I am a medical lab scientist and a chemical pathologist. I'm also a metabolic health researcher and educator, and that's what this channel is about. How people can reverse metabolic health issues, okay, like diabetes, PCOS, overweight, obesity, low energy, and the rest of them. That's what this channel is about, okay, how people can reverse metabolic health issues. So today we are talking about 5 ways to reverse insulin resistance, and I started the other live with sources of carbohydrates, so I'm going to continue that here. So we have 2 major sources of carbohydrates: whole carb and sugar. That's simple carb. We have complex carbs and simple carbs. Okay, complex carbs are whole carbohydrate that still have 99% of their nature intact. Elema took you. Oh, thanks for joining me, Elena, sorry. I did pronounce it right. Thanks. Oh, Barisa, you're back. Oh, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks so much. I'm happy you're here, Barisa. Thank you. Hi, Elena. I am happy you're here. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you. So yes, we have 2 major sources of carbohydrates. We have the complex or 2 major types of carbohydrate rather. We have the complex and the simple carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates are whole carbohydrates that still have 99% of their nature intact. It means they have the fiber. Oh, thank you for giving this video a like. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up. They have the fiber intact and 99% of the natural makeup intact. While simple carbohydrates are carbohydrates that has been stripped of their fiber, like sugar, flour, and the rest of them, noodles and the rest of them, white rice. There are many simple carbohydrates. And now, what happens when you eat carbohydrate rich food? Depending on the one you eat. If it's whole carbohydrate, when you eat whole carbohydrates, digestion of whole carbohydrates starts from the mouth. You masticate, then during mastication, the food mixes with salivary amylase. The food mixes with saliva, and saliva contains an enzyme known as amylase. So this food will get digested, it will get broken down by salivary amylase into glucose, disaccharide, oligosaccharide, and polysaccharide. Now, we have 5 different types of sugar molecules or types of carbohydrates. The first one is monosaccharide. From the name, mono means one. That's 1 sugar molecule. The second one is disaccharide. That's 2 sugar molecules. The third is oligosaccharide. More than 3 sugar molecules. That's 3 to 10 sugar molecules. And the Last one is polysaccharide. That's more than 10 sugar. Polysaccharide contains more than 10 sugar molecules. That's the the complex carbohydrates. Those are the polysaccharide. Now, what happens when you eat carbohydrate rich food? They get masticated in the mouth, some glucose will be released, and then the rest goes down to the stomach. In the stomach, digestion of carbohydrates ceases because of the presence of, thank you for the love, because of the presence of hydrochloric acid. Hi, viral video trend always. Wow, what a name. Thank you for joining me. So, where was I? So when you eat, digestion of carbohydrates ceases in the stomach. Okay, because of the presence of HCl, that's hydrochloric acid that helps in protein digestion, hinders carbohydrate digestion. Now, when that food gets down to the intestine, Vibe Busoya, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me live. I'm glad to have you here. I'm so happy you are here. Thank you. So, digestion of carbohydrates ceases in the stomach and resumes in the small intestine. In the small intestine, this food will get further broken down to glucose. Now, here is the thing: if the food you ate is simple carbohydrate, that's in it is already in its simplest form, monosaccharide form, is already in either glucose, fructose, or galactose form. There is not much work for the body to do, so it will get quickly absorbed into your blood and cause a rapid sugar spike. Okay, if this spike in sugar level happens once in a while, it's not going to be an issue. But when there is a continuous spike in blood sugar levels, that's when the issue happens. That's when you start having issues. That's when yawa bursts. For Nigerians that speak jargon, that's when yawa bursts. When you are always having sugar spikes, when you have steady sugar spikes. You see, let's link this sugar spike to fueling your fuel tank. If you have experience with cars, you will know that overfueling your fuel tank is not a good thing, and it doesn't augur well with your car. So when you fuel you overfuel your fuel tank, is going to overflow, and that overflowing does not augur well with the car. So having a steady sugar spike is like intoxicating your cells with glucose, as in when you drink alcohol and you step beyond your boundary, as in you take more than your body can actually metabolize, you're going to feel intoxicated. You will start misyanning. You will start saying things that are not comprehensible. You will become irrational. Okay, you will become irrational when you take alcohol and you get drunk. You become very irrational. It's the same thing that happens to your cells when you are always having steady glucose spike, steady blood sugar spike. Your cells will become drunk and start malfunctioning. That steady sugar spike does something to your mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That's where glucose gets broken down. Okay, mitochondria is where glycolysis happens. That's the breakdown of glucose to release ATP. ATP is the fuel that your body uses to function, is the energy that your body utilizes to perform its. When I was talking about PCOS, yes, I said that this channel is about metabolic issues, and the metabolic issues I discuss here are diabetes, PCOS, overweight, obesity, low energy, high blood cholesterol. So those are the things I talk about on this channel. So if you are struggling with PCOS, yes, I have something for you. Just stick around, okay? If you are struggling with PCOS, I already have a video on PCOS. If you go through my channel, you will see videos on PCOS. Okay, I'm a PCOS warrior myself, and I'm digressing. This is not the reason for this video, but I'm a PCOS warrior myself. But one of the things that helped me to reverse my PCOS symptoms or to remit my PCOS symptoms was optimizing my metabolic health. So it's part of the inspiration behind this channel. And another inspiration behind this channel is the research work I concluded last year, 2024. I found out that young people experiencing metabolic issues there are so many. Many young persons are experiencing metabolic issues without knowing that what they are experiencing is actually metabolic issues. So the research was actually the subject of my research. The research I concluded last year was menopausal women. But unfortunately, I found out that even premenopausal women were already having metabolic issues even when they are not yet in their menopause. So those are the inspiration behind this channel. All I talk about here are metabolic health issues. I don't delve into any other issue that is not metabolic health issues, okay? I'm a metabolic health researcher and I educate people on metabolic health issues. That's what this channel is about. So I was talking about steady sugar spikes. When you're always having continuous sugar spikes, it's going to alter your mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It's your mitochondria that metabolizes glucose to release ATP that your cells requires to function. Okay, so when you're always having sugar spikes is a problem. But if that sugar is coming from whole carbohydrate, the rate sugar will get released from that food will be slower than how it's going to get released from processed food and sugary foods. Okay, so when it's coming from whole food, but whole food can still cause steady sugar spike depending on the amount you are taking. Whole food can cause steady sugar spikes depending on the amount you are taking. And what this continuous sugar spike is going to do is that it's going to cause insulin resistance. Now, if you're just hearing the word insulin resistance for the first time, let me explain what insulin resistance is. Insulin is like the messenger, is the chemical in your body, is the hormone in your body. And what it does is it plays the role of a messenger. You know how you buy a Jumia product and a delivery agent will deliver it to your door? That is exactly what insulin does. When you eat a high carbohydrate meal and that meal gets broken down to blood sugar, that's to glucose, it gets broken down to blood sugar. What insulin does is to carry blood sugar to your cells. So insulin will deliver that sugar present in your blood to your cells. That's what insulin does. But insulin resistance is when your cells are no longer opening up for insulin to deliver glucose to them. Insulin will not, your cell will not listen. They will become stubborn to insulin. Insulin will not, your cells will not listen. They will become stubborn to insulin. They will be so stubborn to insulin that your pancreas, because that stubbornness to insulin will result to sugar piling up, because the cells are not receiving them, so the sugar will pile up in your blood. So what's going to happen when sugar piles up in your blood? Your pancreas does not want sugar to remain in the blood, and sugar remaining in the blood is a problem. The body tries to maintain a homeostasis for everything. The body tries to maintain a balance for everything. So it also maintains a balance for glucose. There is a level glucose ought to be in the body. So after a high glucose meal, your body tries to clear up glucose from the blood to maintain that glucose balance. So in order to maintain glucose balance, the pancreas will panic. Because of high sugar, the pancreas will panic and secrete more insulin. So this insulin will mop up glucose. But because your cells are not listening, insulin will still pile up in the blood, causing more issues for you. And this is what will happen when there is a pile up of insulin. The two major cells that relies on insulin to take up glucose, every single cell in your body relies on glucose for energy. But there are two main cells that depends on insulin to take up glucose. And the two major cells that depends on insulin to take up glucose are your fat cells and your muscle cells. And this is what is going to happen when your fat cells become resistant to insulin, or when your muscle cells become resistant to insulin. Your fat cells will no longer, normally, when everything is working well, If glucose gets to the fat cells, your fat cells will convert glucose to fat and store fat. Okay, if glucose gets to the muscle will utilize some of the glucose, because everything you do, you use your muscle to do it. My eyes movement is because these muscles here are working. The movement of my fingers is because the muscles in my fingers are working. The movement of your legs is because your leg muscles are working. So we have muscles all over us, and our muscles depends on insulin to take up glucose. So part of the glucose your muscle takes up is going to burn as fuel, and part of it is going to store, in case of famine, in case of when you will stay in a fasting state. So your muscle will store some of this excess glucose as glycogen. Okay, it's going to store it as glycogen for future use. Now, this is what happens in insulin resistance. One, your fat will no longer store glucose as fat, and it's going to cause a spillover of fat. That fat that is supposed to store in your fat cells will start spilling over to other tissues, and it can get to when it gets to the liver, it's going to make the liver fatty, causing fatty liver. That is going to accumulate on the liver. And remember that steady sugar spikes causes a spike in insulin too. So an insulin is an anabolic hormone. What that means is that insulin helps your body to synthesize things. Insulin helps your body to produce things. Insulin helps your body to produce fat. It helps your body to produce glycogen. So what will happen is that high insulin will make the liver to accumulate this fat around itself, resulting to fatty liver. And fatty liver is a big risk, is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Another thing that is going to happen is that your muscles will start accumulating fat. Yes, the fat is going to spill over to your muscles, and your muscles, instead of storing glycogen, they will start storing fat. And this is going to reduce insulin signaling, your muscles' ability to bind to insulin, making your muscles resistant to insulin. Your fat cells are resistant already. This spillover from fat will make your muscles more resistant to insulin. I don't know if I'm making sense. Yes, insulin shock, that's the word. I don't know if you are understanding what I'm saying. You said what? Okay, what is insulin shock? That is what I just explained now. Is insulin resistance. That's when there is a surge, an insulin surge. That's what insulin shock is. When there is an insulin surge, steady sugar spike will cause a surge in insulin, and that surge in insulin will lead to a condition known as hyperinsulinemia. That's the insulin shock. You will have lots of insulin because your pancreas, in its quest to clear out glucose from the blood, pushes out more insulin, and more insulin in the blood will encourage production of fat, more fat. And this fat production is going to accumulate on your liver, on your muscles, complicating your health. It accumulates on your liver mostly, resulting to fatty liver disease. And see, the organ that gets mostly affected when there is insulin resistance are your fat cells, your muscle cells, and your liver cells. This is what happens in the liver. The liver is the chief metabolic organ. That's where most metabolism occurs in the liver. Now, here is what is going to happen. There are two major glucose metabolic processes that occurs in the liver. I'm not going to bore you with medical jargons. I'm going to say them the way we say it in medicine or in metabolic biochemistry, and explain what it is in a layman's language. Number one is glycogenesis. Glycogenesis is converting excess glucose or storing excess glucose in a form that the body can utilize later when you're in a fasting state. So the liver converts some glucose to glycogen, keeping that excess glucose in store for future use, so that when you stay long without eating, it's going to go back to its energy reserve and bring out glucose for your body to use, because every single cell in your body relies on glucose to function. So your body does not want to experience glucose drought. It does not want to experience a lack of glucose. So that's why it's always keeping reserve. When you are in a fasting state, it will go to its reserve. That's why you don't wake up in between your night sleep to eat, to refuel your body, because your body has a reserve that it always runs to to refuel itself. Another thing that will happen, there is another process in the liver that is called gluconeogenesis. This process is just the body producing glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. That's from other food that is not carbohydrate, from protein, from fats. The body produces glucose from non-carbohydrate sources. It also happens in the liver. Another thing that happens in the liver is that when there is insulin resistance, the liver will no longer listen to insulin. Normally, the insulin ought to give the liver instruction on when to start gluconeogenesis, on when to start converting non-carbohydrate molecules to glucose, so your body can get the energy it requires to function. Insulin ought to give liver instruction on when to start breaking down the reserved fuel, that's glycogen, excess glucose stored in the form of glycogen. But when there is insulin resistance, because the liver is not listening to insulin, it will start breaking down glycogen to glucose. It will start converting non-carbohydrate molecules to glucose without the instruction of insulin. What's going to happen? What do you think will happen when this happens? When the liver starts producing more glucose without insulin telling it to produce more glucose, what do you think will happen? I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments. What do you think will happen when the liver start producing more glucose without insulin telling it to do so? There will be more glucose in the blood. There will be more glucose in the blood. That's the insulin shock you are talking about. Though I have not heard that word insulin shock before. What we know is insulin resistance. But that's the insulin shock you are talking about, when there is high glucose, steady blood glucose, steady sugar spike, causing more production of insulin, and of course an insulin shock or sugar shock. So that is what happens in insulin resistance. I don't know if anybody have question on that. Does anybody have question on what I just explained? Let me be sure I didn't miss out any points. Does anybody have a question on that? Okay, so now when there is insulin resistance, this is another thing that happens. Your fat cells will start breaking down. Normally, insulin prevents breakdown of stored fats. But when insulin, your body starts becoming resistant to insulin, your fat cells will start breaking down fats. And this breakdown of fat will cause the release of free fatty acid. And this free fatty acid is going to result to production of inflammation molecules, as in molecules that causes inflammation. And this inflammation could result to some health complications. And the one that is most deadly is cancer. Inflammation as a result of insulin resistance can cause cancer. And I've already talked about fatty liver disease, and I've also mentioned that it impedes or impairs muscles' ability to take up glucose. Now, here is what you can do to reverse insulin resistance. Insulin resistance is reversible. insulin resistance is very reversible. Now, this is what you can do to reverse it. If you have PCOS, I think someone mentioned PCOS here. If you have PCOS, this thing I'm about to share here can as well help you, because most women with PCOS have insulin resistance. More than 90% of women living with PCOS have insulin resistance. So what I'm going to share can as well help you, anybody struggling with PCOS or other insulin resistant cases like overweight, what have you, low energy. And I want to give you an assignment today. After watching this video, start tracking how you feel after taking certain meals. Your mood. Hi, Zorion. I'm glad you are here. Start tracking your mood and your energy after taking every meal. That's an assignment I'm giving you today. It's going to help keep you in check of the kind of things you eat. Your food is your biggest medicine. Food can keep you healthy. Food can make you not to age so fast. Food can do a lot of. Food can help you with your mood, your energy. So food is your greatest medicine. But from today, I want you to start tracking how you feel and your energy level after meals. You know, some persons eat very high sugar meals in the morning. What this kind of meal will do for you is that it's going to give you a quick energy, start having energy crashes. To focus, shifting from one task to another, because you take up glucose. So once you have a high sugar meal, it goes to the brain and triggers release of dopamine, the feel good hormone. It's that same hormone that makes people addicted to certain things. So when there is a release of dopamine, because of that, the kind of fuel your body experiences when you take a high sugar meal, is going to have cravings. It's going to crave that kind of feeling. So it's going to lure you to take more sugary snacks, more sugary drinks. And what's this going to do? It's going to lead to insulin spikes, and it might alter, if you keep on with it, it's going to alter your mitochondria and cause insulin resistance. And if you don't control it, it's going to lead to diabetes, pre-diabetes first, then diabetes. There are people that jump into diabetes. They will become pre-diabetes because people think, especially if you come of age, if you are older than 25, know that you need to go check yourself from time to time. Don't wait till you fall ill to go and do checkup. You need to go check yourself from time to time. So some people just move fast from insulin resistance to diabetes. They won't know when they entered pre-diabetes because they did not go to check themselves to know their levels. I know someone, a very close relation of mine, last year she had a serious glycemic shock. That's what Sharif is referring to as insulin shock. She had a serious sugar shock last year. She was not sick. Just suddenly, she started becoming irrational. She was just talking rubbish. She was talking like someone that is having psychosis, someone that is mad. She started talking like someone that is mad. They thought it was a spiritual thing, so they started tackling it the spiritual way until the woman fell to the hospital. And getting to the hospital, it was diagnosed there and then that she is diabetic, not pre-diabetic. She is already, maybe she saw some sign, because our body talks to us all the time. Your body communicates to you. If you tell yourself the truth before you finally fall down and get bedridden, your body must have been giving you signs. Our body talks to us all the time. Just at times we are too busy to listen to what our body is telling us. So this woman became diabetic and she started taking diabetic drugs. Yes, now diabetes can be reversed, insulin resistance can be resolved if you can discipline yourself to follow what will help you, the strategies that will help you reverse these conditions. And I'm going to share those strategies here. If you can stay disciplined and follow these steps, you're going to reverse your insulin resistance. The number one thing you need to do is exercise. Your muscle is the biggest organ that utilizes glucose. And exercising your muscles is not any kind of exercise. There are exercises that build the muscle. That's the exercise you should be aiming for. Go for muscle building exercise like resistance exercise, all those exercises that helps you to build muscles. That exercise is very key in improving your insulin sensitivity. So start exercises, start doing resistance exercises that helps you to build muscle. The more muscles you have, the more able you are to metabolize glucose, and the better your insulin sensitivity. Another thing you need to do is eat more protein. And the good thing about protein is that you can get glucose from some protein without having a sugar spike. Some protein helps you to secrete insulin without sugar spike. The third thing you can do to improve your insulin sensitivity, carbohydrates. In the beginning of the video, I gave you clue on why you need to eat carbohydrates. Whole carbohydrate with the fiber intact is better for blood sugar than simple sugar like meat pie, bread, soft drink, and the rest of them. Carbohydrate can cause sugar spike, so you need to eat them in small amounts. If you're already insulin resistant or diabetic, you need to eat whole carbohydrates in small amounts, and you eat it with lots of vegetables. The video to show you how and other high carb meals without spiking your blood sugar. I only talked about high carbohydrate meal. It's still going to help you cut down on sugar, reduce sugar spike. Okay, so the next thing that will help you improve your insulin sensitivity is sleeping well, especially after exercise, or even when you don't exercise, you still need to sleep well. Sleep improves insulin. Good quality sleep improves insulin sensitivity. It's during sleep that your brain recalibrates and rejuvenates and burns some stress and some molecules triggered by stress. So it's during sleep helps you to de-stress. That's the most simple way to put it. Sleep helps you to de-stress. So sleep is very essential. And another thing that makes sleep an important tool for reversing insulin resistance is that sleep helps in the production of growth hormone. Sleep helps your body to produce growth hormone. Growth hormone helps you to build muscles, and you already know that the more muscles you have, the more you are able to metabolize glucose, and the more insulin sensitive you become. Another thing that will help you is eat healthy fats. Okay, I think I've already said that healthy fat and protein, abi. Another thing that will help you is to reduce stress. Stress releases cortisol, and I always call cortisol the enemy of insulin, because cortisol increases insulin resistance. Cortisol is the stress hormone, and any kind of stress will cause a spike in cortisol level. Your body can tolerate stress from minimal stress, but when the stress is too much and causes a cortisol spike, it can worsen your insulin resistance. So you need to reduce stress, and there are ways you can reduce stress. I have a video on how to lower your cortisol level. If you go through my channel, I'm going to drop a link to that video in the comments of this live stream. You can watch that video on how to lower your cortisol level, so you get an insight on how to reduce stress. Reduce stress means, physical stress is also part of the stress that you need to reduce. Emotional stress, financial stress, and other kind of stress. Now, for physical stress, the best way to reduce physical stress is listening to your body. When you know that you are getting to your limits, don't wait till you get to your limits. When you start getting signals that you are getting to your breaking point, stop. Don't get to your breaking point before you pause. Stop. Take some rest. If you must continue that task, pause for a little while before you continue. Okay? For emotional stress, if you are emotionally stressed, Journaling will help you, and in journaling, use the vomit style of journaling. Just pour everything in your head, everything coming to your mind, pour them all in on a piece of paper. And don't try to go through your writing. Don't try to read what you wrote. Just pour it out as it's coming. You are writing, as it's coming, you are writing it. Okay, just pour everything on a piece of paper. And when you finish, dispose the paper, tear the paper into pieces and trash it. It's going to give you some relief. Another thing that helps relieve stress is yoga. Yoga will help you, meditation will help you, praying from your heart will help you. In that video, you will see other strategies for reducing stress. Now, the bonus tip, I intend to share only 5, but I'm going to give you 6. Who can guess what the last one is? Who can guess? Take a rough guess. Take a rough guess. Try. Okay, drink water. Water is life. And the good thing about drinking water, if you want to reverse insulin resistance, is that water helps your body to clear out glucose. Water helps in clearing glucose. That's the beautiful thing about drinking water. So hydrate well. I shared 6 things, Abi. Number 1, exercise. Do muscle building exercise. Number 2, eat high protein meals. 3, go for whole carbohydrates instead of simple carbohydrates. 4, sleep well. Go for quality sleep, 7 to 8 hours of sleep daily. 5, reduce stress. Any kind of stress causes a cortisol spike, so reduce your stress level. 6, drink water well. Hope you got value from this. Tell me the new thing you learned from this video and what you intend to implement going forward. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to hear if you got value from this video, what you learned, the new thing you learned. All those that gave this video a thumbs up, I appreciate you. Thank you. If you watched the replay, please type in the comments replay in the comments so that I will know you watched the replay. Okay, and do where to drop a comment. On the new thing you learned from this video. If you learned something new, do where to drop it in the comment section. I'm going to read the comments and respond to every single one of them. Okay, please drop your comments in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up so more people will see it and benefit from it. Health information is one information you should not keep to yourself. This could save a life. This could save the life of someone living with insulin resistance, because one thing with insulin resistance is that the fatty liver caused by insulin resistance can predispose people to cardiovascular disease. Someone can suddenly have a heart attack as a result of insulin resistance. Insulin resistance causes high blood cholesterol, which can cause heart attack. Insulin resistance causes inflammation, which can alter the way your cells are and lead to cancer. So you can help improve the quality of someone's life by sharing this video. And again, someone living with diabetes can improve their condition by just watching this video and following the steps stipulated here. Someone with pre-diabetes can as well benefit from this. People who are overweight can benefit from this. I already mentioned PCOS when I started. If you experience low energy, you're always feeling tired, you're always feeling weak, you get easily fatigued, this can as well help you. It can as well help somebody having this kind of experience. So do well to share this video, do well to share this live stream with people in your circle so that people can benefit from the information shared there. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate every one of you for stopping by. God bless you all and keep staying health conscious. I love you guys. Bye bye.